Hey Rebels, my name is Matthew Barton, and I'm the host of the Rebellion Brewing Podcast. Today, I'm sitting down with Jeff Rushton, one of the owners and the brewmaster at Better Brother Brewing. They opened their doors a few weeks ago in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and I'm excited to find out what Jeff and his team are all about. So let's get into it. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
How's it going?
Yeah, really good. Yeah, we've been open 3 weeks, so I can get a little bit more sleep now, and things are kind of getting into a groove, so life is getting good.
You opened in COVID times? What strange times.
Yeah, that could have been, had I had a crystal ball, that might have been changed. But we're making the best of it, that's for sure, yeah.
In a nutshell, what is Better Brother Brewing all about?
Better Brother Brewing, yeah, that's, so the name itself, my brother and I started the brewery, so he's my twin brother, and since we were probably in grade 2, we got asked, who's the better brother? Just because as twins, everybody likes to compare the two of us, and so we thought that would be a pretty good name. And then it kind of has a double meaning. Like we also, like we're very family oriented. We both have families, and Nathan's wife Ashley helped with the design, and then my wife Jocelyn helped or is helping with like the backroom food and kitchen and stuff. And she does all of our social media. So very much family oriented. So we're kind of, and then we want to push that out into the community and just kind of like be the better brother. So we want to do a lot of charity events. We want to just help out the community any way we can. So,
what should people expect when they walk through your doors?
Just an inviting atmosphere. We know that craft beer, like it's been around for quite a while, but Saskatchewan is still kind of just getting the hang of it, and there's a lot of people that don't know what craft beer is all about. So we kind of go with a very inviting atmosphere. We want to do some easy drinking beers, not scare anybody away, but just kind of welcome them into the community and just show them kind of what's out there. And we really want to just push family atmosphere. We've got a change table. I've got a 5-month-old son, so like it's weird because we have a lot of people ask us like, can we bring our kids? Like, yeah, give her. So yeah, very much just a family atmosphere, almost like a coffee shop, but for adults. And I guess families for Jones Soda. So
you have a 5-month-old, man. That's crazy to open a brand new business with a 5-month-old. Is he sleeping through the night? Or she?
Yeah, well, I've been blessed, man. My wife, from day one, she's let me sleep the whole night through. And so I can't complain. So don't ever. So, but yeah, no, it's been good. Like, but yeah, it's like we literally signed the lease in January. We had we started construction May 17th. And on May 28th, my son was born. And so this whole construction phase, everything, we've had a newborn. So again, could have made it a little easier on us, and like had we planned it a little bit differently. But it's why not do everything at once, eh?
5 years from now, you'll be like, that was the hardest, and nothing can stop us now.
5 years tomorrow.
What are your flagships? What beers should people check out first?
So we did kind of like our core beer series. We started out with a West Coast IPA. It's one of my personal favorites. I've brewed that one several times back when I was in school at the Olds College. It's just a classic West Coast piney notes. And then to follow that up, we went with the Pale Ale, Blonde Ale, an ISA, so an easy drinking IPA, and then Chocolate Oatmeal Stout. So kind of like the 5 easiest drinking beers I could think of that kind of covered the basis and kind of lets people see what each kind of beer style is about, and then we'll branch off from there.
You said you went to Olds College, so my next question was going to be, how did you get started brewing?
Yeah, 3 years ago, just had a change in life and was able to kind of basically say if I could do anything, what would I want to do. And my brother and I kind of talked about it while drinking beers over the weekend. We figured, why not start a craft brewery? So within 5 weeks from that, I was accepted into Olds College and started in the that fall. So it all kind of went pretty fast, and did my time, or not did my time, but went to Olds College for 2 years and learned an amazing amount of craft beer that I'd never even thought about, and been able to push that forward into opening the place. So
when I look at brewers, and I've talked to brewers in the past, they seem to have a very diverse kind of palate. They don't chase one style. They want to try all things. But if you had to pick one, Sophie's choice, what style has you most excited right now?
Oh man, styles have been, that was the best thing about the college, is you'd be able to try new things and experiment. But a couple years ago, the Brute IPA was kind of like everybody's vision, or they tried to reach after it. And there's only a couple breweries that I found that really nailed it. And that was pretty cool to be kind of at the forefront of that kind of beer style coming out. So I'd say, yeah, that Brute IPA was pretty cool. But I'm a classic kind of guy. I love, like, just give me a West Coast IPA. I could drink that. If you gave me a beer to drink for the rest of my life, just give me a West Coast IPA.
I feel like personally, it's kind of come full circle. I started off very simple, wanting simple beers, then went crazy and tried every single thing I could try, and now I'm just back to easy drinking.
Yeah, it's funny how that happens, eh? Like, I know sours are a big kick in Alberta, and you get your face kind of puckering, and some of them are okay, and some of them are like way too much. But yeah, give me a classic pale ale, even like a Sierra Nevada pale ale. Oh man, I could drink that every day too. Yeah.
That is a lovely beer.
Yeah.
The one we just brought out, because you mentioned sours, is the Cherry Lambic.
Oh, okay.
And I've got it in my fridge. I just am waiting for a special occasion, maybe a American Thanksgiving with my wife, you know?
Yeah. I love having those beers in the fridge, that kind of in the back corner, that you know they're there, but you just want to savor them. Yeah, those are always exciting. I've got a little cellar at home from the beers, that my favorite beers that I made in school that are over 10%, and tuck them away for a nice occasion.
That's deadly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you said your lineup in the beginning is easy drinking. Are you looking to get experimental or bring back any heritage styles? What should people try?
Yeah, it's kind of a funny thing, because like my brother, who owns 50% of the brewery, loves that easy drinking beer style. So I always keep him in mind. I push him to try new things, but at heart I still want, if my beer's good enough for him, most people, he's kind of that broad spectrum of craft beer drinkers or beer drinkers. So I keep him in mind and everything, just to kind of know that not to go too far out to left field. But at the same point in time, like in the summer, we'll do the typical kind of like raspberry or watermelon blonde ales, and kind of mix or try some kind of fruit additions and experiment that way. But I think I might get a couple casks next summer and maybe experiment that way, and just do some crazy stuff in casks first, and then have a couple cask nights and do it that way.
And last but not least, what are you guys doing to set yourselves apart from the Saskatoon scene? I mean, there's a few breweries there now. People looking at you guys. What are you guys doing different?
I've been asked that question a few times already, and it's funny because when you open a business, you kind of want to set yourself apart so that people go directly to you. But we just want to basically join the craft beer community and not in any way kind of set ourselves apart. It's more just, we want to be that entry level maybe brewery that then we want to push them to other breweries like Shelter or 9 Mile or High Key. So it's more, yeah, so maybe our distinguishing point would be, we'd be the entry level craft beer for everybody. And then we'd say, now go and try some really good beers. and like experiment, because Shelter has that small batch stuff that they can do some pretty cool things. So yeah, basically we're gonna keep it pretty plain Jane with some kind of one-offs, but it's kind of funny to say that, being a brewer. People think that like you need to brew the craziest things to keep excited, but I'm in my older years. I'm not even that old, but I just love doing like stuff well. So my fun times is like getting that pale ale like perfect every time. So yeah.
I think there's something to be said for executing something very consistently, cleanly, and well, with an eye for like perfection. You know, there's nothing bad about that.
Yeah, when I say clean beers to a non-beer drinker, they're like, "Oh, I hope every beer is clean," but so they don't get that clean part. But I love a clean beer, and so I gotta watch who I say that to. But your audience will definitely know what that means. So I love the clean beers, yeah, and doing it well, like a blonde ale. Man, you can't hide anything in a blonde ale, and to get that right crispness and something that that you want to crush 2 or 3 of. That takes some skill, far more than any kind of IPA that you can kind of hide with hops. People, I guess, oversee that blonde ale, but if you get a classic clean blonde ale, that takes some skill. So,
I was talking with one of our old brewmasters, Dave, and he was saying that one of our lightest beers of all time was the most difficult to execute for those exact same reasons. He's like, you can't hide a single screw up.
Yeah. Yeah, you feel very vulnerable, especially like when we opened our tap room for the first time. And like we've had friends and family try my beer and stuff, but friends and family are supposed to say, "Oh, it's amazing." But it was watching the Untapped that first weekend. People were starting to put us on Untapped and rate our beers, and it was pretty sketchy. So I've had to already come to terms with, this is what I'm putting out there, and I hope people like it. And yeah.
Well, from my perspective at Rebellion, when watching Untapped, I think it's a good bellwether in a broad scope, but you can't take it personal, because people have a couple beers and check in a couple, and then they get a little salty, a little spicy.
And then it could be like maybe a bad experience, like it's maybe their off day, or maybe something in the tap room set them off, and then they just rate your beer horrible. And so I'm already learning that like 3 weeks in, but it still affects, like as a brewer and the owner, like it hits me both ways.
Well, I would say don't take it too personally. We made a video teasing some of our worst reviews, and one of them was the guy said the beer tasted like a hot diaper. And it was just like, dude, it doesn't taste like a hot diaper. You're just being rude.
Yeah.
Like, we go back and we taste it. We're like, no, there's no diaper there.
Yeah. Believe me, I've got a 5-month-old. I would know what that smells like.
Well, thank you for taking your time out of your day to chat with me. I know you're got to get back to brewing, so thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for calling, and look forward to coming down and seeing your guys. Actually, Mark was just here this morning, so it was awesome to meet Mark and see have Rebellion reach out and kind of push the craft beer community forward. So I love what you guys are doing.
You guys are on my checklist. As soon as I'm coming back up to Saskatoon, I'm coming to have a beer.
Please, yeah, we'd love it. Don't be easy on me, but try everything.
Deadly. Rebels, thanks for listening today. If you have any questions or comments about this episode, be sure to join us on our brand new Facebook group page, the Rebellion Brewing Podcast. I'm going to include links in the show notes so you can find Better Brother Brewing on social media. Check them out, check in their beers, tell me what you think. I'm also proud to let you know that we're members of the Saskatchewan Podcast Network. It's a one-stop shop for tons of locally produced podcasts from across our province. You can find them at the saspodcastnetwork.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Untapped so you don't miss out on the latest news in Saskatchewan craft beer. Thank you for joining the Rebellion.